The first one here is a 1907 stick mount pancake. This is not a model that I was super familiar with. I don't know how many of these I've ever really seen. The stick mount, so it's the very smooth, very modern, clean motor housing fan. As we'll get into some of the earlier ones tonight, and those of you that are more familiar with the earlier ones, much more detail to those motor housings, accentuated by embossed rings, embossing around the vent holes. Just more detail. And to think 1907 GE goes to a very clean, very sleek, almost very modern motor housing design. The modern, clean motor housing design combined with the smooth base. And you also have the very smooth, clean front motor housing. And this is the year that GE used what looks to be almost a very homemade style strut. But it is correct. This is the correct strut for this model year. They did a wrapped, those of you into details, they did a wrapped cage instead of the pinned. Up until this year or the year before, they had always had the pinned back ring. Later design invoked the wrapped ring that carried over into the big motor yoke. And I still say, as a fixed mount fan, this is a pretty unique model, pretty late production to be a fixed mount fan. So, but makes for a very clean and very sleek fan. I mean, it's very, it just flows. And done in a beautiful, I think Carlton referred to it as tuxedo black. Two hand-painted brass gold pinstripes around the base. Time of restoration, did a burgundy red, a cloth-covered twisted cord. What else do I have? We did notice on this one, and we'll run it here in just a second, we did notice maybe a little bit of weight balance, or a little bit of a balance issue with the blade, but it could use a new bearing in the front of it. That new bearing may rectify any issues with the blade, but a beautiful fan, and I really think that it's a very unique, harder to find model of the GE Pancake. Again, those of you who may not be super familiar with GE Pancakes that may be watching our live video, this was, so in 1903, which we have some 1903 models tonight, GE took the switch and the choke coil and moved it from what had always been at the rear of the fan motor and moved it into the base. So all the models we have tonight feature a 5-speed choke coil or a donut shaped coil with a rotary 5-speed switch in the base of them. I think GE then, I don't know of a model after the 1903 where GE ever moved any switching components to the back of the motor, so everything stayed in the base. More of a traditional, I would call it more of a traditional fan design after the 1903. And with 5 speeds, you're not going to get this huge drop. So, it gradually stair steps with any of these models. They're going to gradual stair step from 5 down to the slowest speed, 5 to 1. A lot of these are tagged around 100 to 115. This one shows a voltage 100 to 115. I'm operating this one on 115. A few of the others I found to show more variation in speeds when operated about halfway between. So if it's 100 to 115, I run them about 107, 108. And that really gives you your drop in speed or a change in speed. So our outlet voltage at home, current, you can check it. Most everybody's is somewhere around 120. 120 is pushing more voltage through that choke coil than it was designed to. So I'm kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself and talking about what's coming up, but I will stress that, yeah, if you have a variac, if you collect fans, a variac is a great thing to have, a variable voltage transformer. You can actually dial the fan into the specified or tagged voltage of the fan, and it really gives you the best speed separation. So just going to kind of walk this guy down, and I don't know about this one. Yes, every one of them in tonight's event have, you know, the slow speed on these models is just wonderful. You know, you pair that with the Jazz, the slow speed, a super comfortable recliner, and you know, it's just a very peaceful setting. Is all I can say. I tested these fans pretty extensively yesterday. You know, some of these are just super mesmerizing on slow speed at the tagged voltage. Like I said, some of them are 107, 108 volts, and they just really, just almost move so slow that they're not going to stop, but you just, so. It's going to take him all the way down to low. But anyway, you can see it's got five distinct speeds. Any other details that I may have missed are on the website, on the product page for the fan itself.